I have been dealing with tinnitus as long as I can remember. I don't remember the age that I actually took notice of it and realized that it wasn't normal, but my mother was convinced that because my brother threw a baseball on our two-story house or whatever house we were living in, and it rolled off and hit me in the head when I was 3, 4 maybe. She's convinced I got it then, but I have no idea. I just know I've had it as long as I can remember. And I've done those little YouTube tests where you listen to the different sounds and frequencies. And I think mine is somewhere around 4,000 hertz. It's really high pitched, almost dog whistle. It never stops. It goes 24/7. And I am grateful for a few things. One, that it is a high-pitched sound that's high enough that I can mostly ignore it when I'm distracted or I'm watching TV or people are talking or whatever. I mostly can ignore it. It does make hearing things a little harder, but I've learned to cope by reading lips and watching facial expressions so I can fill in the gaps. Plus, I have a permanent nerve damage anyway. I have bilateral high frequency loss in my ears anyway. I think it would have been regardless of tinnitus, because my son has the same condition, only he does not have tinnitus that he knows of. He hasn't noticed any ringing. Anyway, the number one best thing is that it's a high pitched one and I can mostly ignore it. I only notice it when it gets really quiet, like when I'm going to sleep, or sometimes out of nowhere the frequency will change and get higher or deeper, but that only lasts for a couple seconds to a minute or so, thank goodness. The other thing I'm grateful for is it's the high-pitched sound. It's not a whooshing, it's not all the other crazy sounds that people claim that their tinnitus sounds like. I couldn't imagine hearing a buzzing or a whooshing or other annoying things all day long. That would drive me nuts. And one of the main ways that I cope with it, well, the main way is that I just can mostly ignore it and not notice it. But another way I've learned to kind of have fun with it is if I'm outside or if I'm in a quiet space, I can close my eyes and I can imagine night sounds. Because either there's another level sound in there too, or when I'm imagining being outside at night, I can fill in the other sounds and I can kind of turn my high-pitched ringing into night sounds, like the crickets or the little frogs or whatever it is that makes all that noise at night. Anyway, I consider that little trick I do to be kind of like my superpower. I was curious, anybody else out there with tinnitus, whatever your sound is or pitch, ways that you cope? Do you have any little tricks you do? I know there's those white noise, brown noise, things like that you can listen to, which I'm more fond of brown noise, I've noticed. But I don't listen to that kind of stuff very often because it seems to me like it does drown it out, but then after I stop listening, my ringing seems louder or more noticeable. So I don't do that much. But yeah, for all you out there suffering from tinnitus, I feel you.